Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. ATR podcast. Gio Garcia here. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda. Special interview today, Chris. Who do we have here as a guest this evening?
We're lucky to have the man behind. I want to call it Gio, the shocker thus far of the year, one of the shockers of the year. He's gonna say it's not a shocker. We have the man behind the fist, Bakhram Murtazaliev, Coach Roma. Coach, first of all, thank you for taking the time. I know it's a quick turnaround. You just had maybe one of the best nights of your life, of your fighter's life. Huge win over a well-known name in Tim Tszyu, and your man Bakhram Murtazaliev is now one of the hottest mans at 154. First of all, how are you feeling after that huge win?
Uh, I'm not really surprised, but I feel very good actually. Every win feels good.
And I messaged you. I reached out going like, Coach, you want to can we interview you? I didn't expect you to reply, but it just shows like you're very humble. Thank you for taking this interview. I'm sure that your messages are getting flooded. A lot of people now know your name. One of the things that caught my eye from that big fight was that your fighter, was giving you a lot of props. He was saying that he was saying your name. That's something most fighters, even though they give accolades to their coaches, it's something that Murtazaliev has said a lot. We'll get to the fight right now in a second, but what does it feel for a fighter to give you your flowers?
Oh, it's very good, man. It's good to have this mutual respect, and he's a very very nice guy in like real life, and outside the ring, he's a different person, the nicest person. Believes in God, very religious, very nice, never would bad about anybody. So yeah, he's a very nice guy. He gives a lot of respect. There's a lot of mutual respect. So
And again, this is a huge fight. A lot of people obviously knew who Tim Tszyu was. A lot of experts, a lot of bookies had him 4-1 favorite. I would say maybe only people inside your camp felt like your guy was winning. Uh, huge, huge, huge statement. Again, a shocker across the boxing world. Your fighter knocked down Tim Tszyu four times, I believe, maybe five, en route to a third round knock TKO. I have to ask, did you expect the fight to be this easy, or did you feel like it was going to be a 9, 10, 11 round fight?
uh, to be honest, I thought it was going to be either very early or right before the championship rounds.
Mm.
But the plan was to go out there and test his power first. So in the first round, what we had the plan is like go out there, give him like an aggressive approach, make him throw some shots and feel his shots. And then when he came to the corner, I asked him specifically, because that was the game plan. I was like, did you feel those shots? How did they feel? He's like, oh, Coach, I can take him like nothing, not a problem. As long as I see him, I'll take him. So I'm like, then you know what to do. Stick to the game plan. And that was it. Even if you like, I'm pretty sure in a corner, I had the mic and stuff, everything's being recorded. That was the only thing I asked him, was like, how did those shots feel? And he's like, I can take him all day. It's not a big deal. There's nothing. So that was it, man.
Please, yes, please speak on Chris. Please speak on the preparation, coach, because as you said, you were confident. A lot of, I'm sure, media members, a lot of other fighters, I'm sure you guys felt disrespected. You guys coming in as a champion, right? A lot of people saw you guys as the underdog, but talk about that preparation. You spoke to us a little bit off air about that, studying Tim Tszyu and getting prepared for this fight.
Yeah, I studied him for a while. We had a like about 10-week camp. Even before the camp, they started negotiating, right? So who's going to be fighting us next? Da, 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 da. So they made him a mandatory without a fight. IBF rules are like you're supposed to fight for the mandatory spot. And no one fought for the mandatory spot. He lost the fight and they made him a mandatory. And they gave us the name, oh, you guys might fight him. And it made my day. I was like, oh, wow, that's nice. you know? So then we did 3 weeks of strength and conditioning, and then 7 weeks of boxing, right? So the first 3 weeks of strength and conditioning, I pretty much watched every one of his fights, whatever was available, for as many as times I could, pretty much, until like I know behind my head. And I compare. I take screen recordings like short, screen recordings of what he does, you know. And I don't look at what he does really bad. I only look at the things that he does very, very good, and he does in every fight. That's all I care about to make a game plan, because he might come back firing us, and the things he did not good, he might not do it again because he worked with his coach and he improved. But if he does something very good and he works in every fight, he's not going to change that. They say, you know, don't fix if it's not broken, right? So he's not going to change that if it's working for him in every fight, and he's going to keep doing it, right? So that's the only thing I study, what he does that works for him so well in every single fight. And then I prepare a game plan how to counter that, right? So that was pretty much it, man. And we worked on it. We had a game plan. It kind of the week before the fight, the Friday, our kind of plan got kind of messed up because Bakhram broke his hand. The pinky knuckle he broke. It was pretty bad, actually. But then, you know, we iced it. We didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell my whole family. Nobody. The manager didn't know. No one knew. Not even the sparring partner that day was with him knew. So yeah, we just, you know, we just iced it. We let it heal up a little bit. We haven't done any kind of boxing for 8 days before the fight. The only time he did any kind of boxing was right before the fight started to warm up, you know. Even then he said, oh, coach is not 100%, but his adrenaline level was so high. He's like, I don't think it's going to bother me. So instead of the straight right hand, we kind of worked on kind of like going around the hook. You know what I mean? Like the open hook kind of go around. Like we forgot about the body shot so much from the bottom because of he's got like Tim's got like those sharp elbows. He doesn't go straight, but he holds his hand kind of like a little bit different. So going to the body might hit him in the elbow. So we kind of try to avoid that. You know, we had like a little conversation during this week and stuff like that, how we're gonna approach this to not mess up the hand even worse. And then I said to him, like, you know, we're gonna bring it in the first round. We're gonna make it a fight to feel the punches, and if you don't feel the punches, it's okay if he comes in. You know, make him come in, make sure he comes in, because every time Tim comes in, he kind of reaches for the body, for the liver shot that he's very good at, but at the same time he doesn't bend his knees. You understand what I'm saying? So instead of dropping the shoulder for the body shot, he kind of goes this way for the body shot, and he's open
on the left hook.
Yes, left hook. So we're like, okay, as soon as he goes for the body shot, it's okay, let him touch you, but you go right then, you know, at the same time, and it just worked. And then another big one was when he throws the right hand, counter the left right after, and we got hours of videos of drilling that in the gym, same exact things. And then the third one was like, as soon as he backs up, he stays kind of flat-footed.
Yeah,
he doesn't come back because of his confidence is so high, which you know, I like about him, about Tim. He's very confident when he's fighting. So instead of like moving back, he just pulls back with his feet on the ground flat without moving his feet, but his only upper body. So practice like the right and the straight left hand. That's what the second one was, the second knockdown. We practiced, we drilled that for like, I don't know how many, maybe like 100 rounds of that. You know, as soon as he pulls back, you know, you throw a fake right, and then, you know, straight left hand. So everything we planned, it worked great, actually. So
what, given the circumstances, what do you tell Murtazaliev when he hurts Tim Tszyu early in the fight? Are you telling him to stay calm? Are you telling him to go for it? Or what are you saying?
When the first drop happened, I looked at his eyes because he was right in front of us, my corner, right? So I looked at him, and when he got up, and he was like, for the first second, it didn't seem like he knew where he was, you know, like it was bad. So when Bakhram went to the corner, I said, just, you know, finish it, get the job done. Then he dropped him second time, then he dropped him third time, and he got saved by the bell. It was like literally like less than a second left. So then he comes to the corner, and I told him, I'm pretty sure it's on the mic, but I told him to take it easy, okay? Don't rush him anymore. Just wait, he's gonna give it to you. Just wait, be calm, be patient, he's gonna give it to you. And his corner wanted him to run. But him, since he was not all there from all those punches, right? He did the opposite. He rushed him. and that was it. That hook came, it was a gift, So he came in, he got another hook, and at that point, even Bakhram didn't want to hit him. He was telling the ref like he can't. Why are you letting him continue? But the ref let him continue, and then eventually they had to throw the towel. I give him a lot of props, man. Tim Tszyu, man. I mean, I knew he was tough, but he's a warrior. He's keep getting up. He's keep getting up. I mean, yeah, it was brutal. I could tell how much he want to win, but it was like it's over. It was over.
And like we mentioned, we a lot of people admire the bravery of Tim Tszyu, especially following that defeat to Sebastian Fundora. Do you think if you were his manager, if you were in his camp, you wouldn't have advised him to take this fight? A lot of people felt like your guy being the champion, but not having the name yet. Was that a very risky fight for Tim Tszyu to take on right away?
Well, I guess they didn't have a lot of knowledge who Bakhram was. They, especially the media tricked them so bad. Everybody was talking about like, who's this guy? Tim is gonna stop him. Tim is gonna do this. Tim is gonna do that. Without even doing a research, this guy has over 150 wins in amateur, about 20 losses, like over 170 fights in amateurs, never been dropped, never been stopped. He had 22 professional fights, never put a knee on the ring canvas. Okay, Tim Tszyu has been dropped many times, right? Like more than two, I think, right? And I don't know about his amateur career. I don't know much about that, but he's been down before, and he's going against somebody that is very tough. So, but again, I guess it was another chance to be a world champion. It's very hard to say no when you have a chance to become a world champion. It's very hard to say no.
Yeah. And of course, this fight, 3 rounds in, there's a lot of people that say, hey, we want to see this guy early 2025. Is that the plan? What is the game plan for Murtazaliev's next fight?
Okay, so I've talked to him. We talk all the time. We were talking today again. I was at his place. We went, anyways. We talk all the time. I just talked to him like an hour ago again about different things. So his plan is to unify the titles. He doesn't care about easy fights. He doesn't want nobody. He said, I'm unifying the titles. If I have to wait until next summer or end of the year, I'll wait. I just want titles, right? Because we already finished the job as far as the mandatory goes, right? Because they made it mandatory, and we did it, right? So now he wants to unify the titles, and unifying the titles will be either the winner of Spence and Fundora, and the second option is Terence Crawford.
Okay.
Right. So they're all good fights. They're all like very good fighters, right? None of them is an easy fight. None of them is a joke. They are like, probably future Hall of Famers and stuff, but that's what he wants, right? And he's like, if they don't want that, then I'll just go up. I want Lara. Give me Lara or one of them other champions, right? So that's what he wants. Because you gotta understand this guy, man. They made him wait for almost 5 years. He was mandatory for IBF, WBO, for all of them, like top 3 for 5 years. And Charlo had all those belts. They threatened him with sanctions because he's from Russia. The war started. They tell him like, oh, it's a unification fight, so you have to step aside and wait. Those are the rules. And I know the rules. Whenever there's unification, you have to actually step aside and wait, right?
Right.
So, anyways, like they've been holding this up for so many years, and finally get his chance. He's a champion. He's like, I don't want to waste no time. I'm 31 years old. I want to get this big fight.
Yeah. And of course, with this big fight, now he's got a huge name under his belt, made a huge statement. Obviously, we always say fighters get into this sport not just to become champions and to build legacy, but to make money that will change their life. It looks like he's in line to make big money, being the champion, being the title holder. What's the fight that you as his coach would want next that would bring him both legacy, both a name and money?
Honestly, after a fight like this, I would love to have him fight Terence Crawford, but I don't see Terence Crawford fighting him. right? That fight would look very good, right? Like I always say, that fight is gonna look like a big man fighting a small man, a big, very powerful puncher, boxer fighting a very slim, technical guy. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be a crazy fight, right?
Right.
The way I see Terrence Crawford is, after the big money right now, and uh, I don't know if it's gonna happen. I hope it happens, but I don't know. But then on the other side, you have Fondura and Spence, right?
Mhm.
Of that fight, it could actually happen because Fondura beat what's his name, Tim, right? The
Mhm.
way like split decision, wasn't it? It was a split decision, right? Yeah, it was a very fight,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Very fight, and then uh, Spence is coming off a loss, right? And he hasn't been active for so long. So I think that fight makes a lot more sense than Crawford fight for Crawford because he's chasing the big money, right? We all know what he's chasing. So I don't know. So we'll see, man. I mean, I'm hoping to get neither one. Doesn't matter as long as they give me enough time to prepare for this fight. We have enough time to prepare. We're gonna be ready for. Doesn't matter who comes in,
And of course, we saw that your fighter, he also has, it seems like he's got a frame to fill out the 160s. Are there any fights at 160, which we've said in the past, it's not the strongest middleweight division that we've seen in the past. Uh, do you see your fighter maybe going up for a lucrative fight in the middleweight division?
Yeah, well, definitely. We had actually 10 fights at 160 beginning of his career, and I think every single one ended early. He knocked out every single one of them at 160.
Hmm.
Okay, so let me tell you this. He's very disciplined, right? So I even have a video at the day of the weigh-ins in the morning, right before the weigh, like an hour before weigh-ins, he steps on the scale, right? He's 151.8. I have a video, full video. I had to feed him and give him drink to go up to like another pound or two. You know what I mean? So then he steps on the scale. He was like 152.8, right?
Hmm.
So he's very disciplined. It doesn't matter if he's gonna be 154 or 160. He's gonna stick to his meal prep or whatever that is, his diet, his nutrition, and he's gonna make it. He's gonna be good.
Coach,
Hey.
what's one thing that the people, besides what you just mentioned, the discipline, what's one thing that people don't know about Murtazaliev and should?
Man, you can never break this guy mentally. I'm telling you, you cannot break him mentally. He doesn't break. Yeah, so that's another thing. He's very smart. He's very humble. He's the nicest person. You will never hear him talk shit to anybody or push his opponent for no reason or stuff like that. But don't step on his toes. You step on his toes, it's gonna be bad. That's it. But other than that, he's the nicest person. So yeah.
What
I've
about
never
yourself? One thing that people should know about you.
about me.
Yes.
People don't need to know much about me. They don't know much about me. Yeah, I'm a family man, coach. That's it.
Coach, we've always said that obviously, the coaches, they always want just the best for their fighters, and the accolades that come once you do your job and once your fighters get titles, win championships, win these big fights. The accolades come for the coaches. Do you have something that you're striving for personally? Maybe like, do you want to be known as a top three coaches of the year? What does Coach Roma want?
I'm enjoying the process, man. That's it. I'm enjoying the process. I love what I do. I've been boxing since I was like 5 or 6 years old. I had over 300 amateur fights. Trained a whole bunch of fighters, trained Olympians, trained other world champions, and now we have another champion. Over here. So I'm just enjoying the process. You don't. I'm a realistic person. You know what I mean? You do your work. And then people are gonna find out. That's it, man. If they're gonna appreciate it or not, it's up to them. But I'm enjoying the process and I love what I do. And, that's about it, one step.
Hey, Coach. Again, we don't want to take too much of your time because I know you got to get your rest. Been busy all day. Again, it's a great time for you for your fighter. you guys, like I said, you guys have been working behind the scenes, I'm sure, years and years, and you just told us that you've been knocking at that title for 5-6 years now. You guys, have it this year, but you have a name win, a huge win that's just been reverberating around the boxing world. So from our podcast, congratulations. You proved us wrong.
Yes.
And I'm sure you made believers out of a lot of people. Murtazaliev is on the map, and we can't wait to see what happens next. The next 2-3 years in that 154, 160 division.
I don't even know how many interviews I've done ever since the fight, but everybody keep mentioning the same thing, like, oh, did you know it was going to be this easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always say to them, it was not easy.
Right.
A day and night of 7 weeks of training, day and night. It was not easy. It was actually very hard. The test was easy, but the test is always easy. Win or lose is easy because the hard work is done ahead of the time, right? So it was not easy. It was a pretty fun camp. Thank God everything went smooth. So yeah, the job was done well. That's it.
Yeah, from my part, I want to piggyback off what Chris said. You proved us wrong. We're not gonna sit here and pretend like we know we picked you guys to win. You know, Chris and I do a game where we predict the winner of every fight for the year, and we definitely got this one wrong. So congratulations. This is the beauty of boxing, right? You never know what you're gonna get. And now hopefully people continue to follow you guys and see the journey and take a look at the hard work that you guys put on quietly, like you said, you guys are family men, you guys are serious about this, very disciplined. So congratulations for this big win.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for everything you guys do. Without people like you, people wouldn't know so much information about boxing or the fighters or the preparation or all the stuff. So you guys do a great job too. Thank you.
And Coach, we'll have you again in the next 6 months. Hopefully you guys get another big fight. I'm sure that you guys want to show more of Bakhram. I'm sure like there's more layers to his game that we still haven't seen, and people that love boxing, that love the art and the science of boxing, when we see those layers, we're like, oh man, there's more to this guy than meets the eye. So again, huge win, congratulations, and we can't wait to see what the next 6 months brings for your team.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.